Okay, so I just watched the new Miraculous episode, the title of which I'm still too scared to pronounce incorrectly. Okay, so the episode starts with Zoe before the first day back at school deciding on her new look. It makes sense that they'd lose the beanie and add that color to her hair so we can see her Miraculous, but also in universe, it would make sense to hide the Miraculous with her beanie. I also wish she'd kept the pants instead of a skirt. Okay, so she's going downstairs. Wait, do they live at the theater now? Okay, so Mr. Bourgeois is hesitating to open up the doors for some reason. And I don't like Zoe's backpack for some reason. Okay, so Zoe's trying to tell her dad that, hey, they've been working for this, so they can't just back down now. They got to do this. And my question is, do they just, like, own the theater now? Because I assumed somebody else did in earlier seasons, but I don't remember seeing anyone. I don't remember. So now Zoe's going back to school for the first time of the new year, and now my second question is, does that mean that this episode is the one that takes place first on the timeline of this season? I don't know why the show is doing all of the episodes out of order. Like, Miraculous is so strange, but that's not important anymore. Okay, so this does take place before Sleeping Siren, but after Daddy Cop. Okay, wait, so Kim made a stupid friend, so this is why he was hanging out with those guys in Sleeping Siren. And so this guy is from New York, and so he must know Zoe, right? Kim, you can't just assume that. And so basically Zoe sees this guy, Ray, who we saw at the end of Daddy Cop, so this is like officially leading on from that. And Ray has like blackmail over Zoe or something like she did in New York, that he's gonna tell everyone if she doesn't just try to stop him, he will tell everyone. So Sabrina's upset because Chloe is roasting her new haircut, and yeah, no, I totally didn't do the same thing in a video, but that's not important. I didn't mean that, Sabrina. Okay, so everyone's posting positive selfies and videos, but Ray knocks down Zoe's phone before she can post. And oh no, now they're telling the girl in the wheelchair there's no space in the elevator. Okay, so Zoe's just witnessing all this injustice that these guys are doing all day, bullying everyone, and it's getting on her nerves. And at some point, one of the guys is about to mess up Marinette's treat, and Zoe sees this, and she tries to stop him, but then Ray's like, hey, I have blackmail over you, and so she can't do anything. But then she tells the principal, which would be the responsible thing to do in this situation, except I'd almost think that Ray is Chloe's half-brother with the trick he pulls where he's like, oh, hey, this is my father. He apparently doesn't care. Like, apparently Zoe just told on them. She told the principal that, hey, these three have been bullying us. Can you do something about it? And no, he can't do anything because apparently the parents just do not care. Apparently. Oh, and he also has a private jet that he just flies to school for some reason. Huh? What? So now Zoe is, of course, upset that this did not work and they are still being mean. And Marinette's trying to comfort her and remind her to just not let them get to her and not let them get her down. And so then at some point, Zoe and Sabrina are on the bus, and there's this annoying guy making a baby cry. And so they just walk away to another seat with the woman and her baby, because sometimes that's the best you can do. And now Zoe's upset because she sees that someone missed the bus as it was just driving off, and she tries to tell the bus driver to stop for 5 seconds to let them on. And it looked like this person was also in a wheelchair. Is this the first time we've seen XY this season? Okay, so they're preventing an old lady from entering her home because they're filming a music video in front of it and they don't want to be behind schedule. So what? Then it gets to the point where Zoe sees these guys that are kind of bullying her dad into giving them free stuff, or else they'll just drive off all the customers. So he says yes at first. And Zoe is tempted to just transform and do something. But when she transforms, she turns into I'm not sure what she's called. Okay, so she goes by Fury now, apparently. And now she's hesitating to do something because she is worried about herself because she just transformed into this new dark form. And she asks Pollen about it, and Pollen says it has to do with her emotions and how she's letting this darkness get to her, which is explaining her new dark form. So she goes back out just as herself detransformed to talk to Mr. Bourgeois or whatever. And so he is saying that he kind of just like said yes to these guys so that they'd stop harassing him. But Zoe is still unhappy with this, and so she isn't sure what to do, and so she tries to ask Ladybug for some advice. And so when she's talking to Ladybug does remind her that, yes, as a superhero, it is her right to stop injustices, but she doesn't explain that she should not cause injustices herself when trying to stop these people. Zoe decides to just go on and become Fury and whisk all of these annoying jerks away to who knows where. Like, she sends this one guy to the top of the Eiffel Tower, and she sends Ray and the two idiots to a roller coaster. Apparently, one of them says that he's 18 and old enough to drive the boat that they're in because the police is trying to get after them for being too young, but this guy apparently skipped 4 grades and is like flaunting it. And then they like release some soap on the cop to get him off their back, but now Zoe just sends them to a roller coaster. And she also sends the guys that were harassing Mr. Bourgeois earlier because they said that they didn't like musicals. So she forces them to watch a musical. And, you know, if they don't like musicals, they don't like musicals. This bus driver doesn't take 5 seconds to release Max off at his stop and instead says, "My shift is over, I'm going home." It would have taken 5 seconds to release Max at his stop. So Zoe just takes the bus driver away for doing this. And Max is like, "What was that?" And so he calls Ladybug for help and to figure out what's going on. They're trying to get all the people that Zoe whisked off down and talk to them. And so they're telling them about this new mysterious vigilante that's been taking them places. Of course, Ladybug and Cat Noir are talking about how whatever this new mysterious vigilante is doing is not right. But they don't really have time for that at the exact moment because now there's a new akumatized threat, which looks like another please do not tell me that another baby got akumatized. I thought Chrissy was above this. Oh, wait, maybe not. They're not. Okay, they're not actually a baby that's been akumatized. Okay, good. Okay, so they're looking for Zoe. This season's had some pretty great action. Like, okay, Max just sent a rocket to this guy's face. So now Sabrina sees a phone on the akumatized villain, and she recognizes it as the phone that annoying guy on the bus earlier had. And so she assumes that that might be the akumatized object, but then when they break it, nothing happens. So they have to use Miraculous Ladybug to reverse that they broke the phone so that they can actually look at the phone and wait, they actually just look at the phone. They didn't have any trouble, like, getting a passcode or something. They just look at the phone. Wait a second. Okay, but that's not the point. So they basically look at the phone for evidence and see that, yes, it was the guy that was being annoying on the bus, and he was, like, filming himself. And he's also apparently the older brother of that kid from the cafe in Illustrator, the one that got akumatized in Illustrator. So, yeah, but he's, like, really annoying, and he's got himself on video as Fury takes him away. So they got Fury on video, and so now they know who's been akumatized, and so they have to figure out how to de-akumatize. The next lucky charm is, like, a Russian nesting doll or whatever, and anyway, she calls Vesperia, and Vesperia helps them save the day, and they de-akumatize this guy. And so, yeah, we all learned a lesson today about how Zoe should not have done those things. But of course, so after the guy has been de-akumatized, Ladybug goes to the rest of the Miraculous and says, well, we need to find whoever this Fury character is and figure out what they've been doing. But Zoe kind of just doesn't admit anything. and did not stop, as we see in Sleeping Siren. She's still on this arc or whatever's going on. She goes back to Mr. Bourgeois and seeing if those guys are still harassing him. But this time, Alia's older sister, Nora, is there to help him out. So, and then she looks out on the street and these people are actually getting help for once. So maybe the world isn't a complete lost cause. So she's probably thinking maybe she can take a break from the whole vigilante thing, but also she's not going to stop. So yeah, this does definitely make Zoe way more interesting, and I'm curious to see what happens next.